So this month's TBR is going to be picked by not only Tabletop TBR, but also Becca'S Bookoplathon. So I'm probably setting myself up for failure. Hey guys, it's Whitney. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be picking my September TBR using Tabletop TBR and also Becca'S Bookoplathon Readathon board. So I polled you guys on Twitter to help me decide how many rolls I was going to do per game, and you guys said I should do 8 rolls total. So I did 4 rolls for Tabletop TBR and 4 rolls for Becca'S Bookoplathon board. So as per usual, I have my little character here and also my nifty D20. So this is going to be the first roll for Tabletop TBR. And that is an 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that's a purple. And the topic for purple is read a book about a topic you can relate to. So the first roll landed us on a purple space, which is a rest. So I guess we're going to take a nice long rest before we get started on our dungeon adventure today. And the prompt for that one is to read a book about a topic that you can relate to. I'm not sure what book I had in mind when I originally made this topic prompt thing, but I can't remember anymore. So I actually just went with The Ruin of Kings. And the reason that I picked this one is because from what I understand and from what I've heard, the main character is bisexual, and so am I. So I can relate to that. Okay, time for the second roll. That is a 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Ooh, he fell over. So that was an orange. And the topic for that is to read a book by a second chance author. The second roll landed us on an orange, which is Secret Passageway. And that prompt was to read a book by a second chance author. This is the second time I've gotten this prompt, even though I made a new deck of cards. And honestly, I don't have any books on the shelf right now that are by authors that I've read a book by and didn't like. But I do have an author that I want to try more of, and that is The Guinevere Deception by Kiersten White. I actually read Anti Darken by Kiersten White and really enjoyed it a lot more than I assumed I was going to. So I feel like a lot of people really like this book, and I want to give her more of my time, and I want to try more of her work to see if she's an author that I'm going to jive with. So I decided to go ahead and go with The Guinevere Deception for this prompt. All right, third roll is a 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's a monster space, which means that to beat the monster, I have to roll above a 10. If I roll below a 10 or below, I have to draw a monster card and do whatever prompt it tells me to. So let's go ahead and roll this time. And that is a 19, so I beat the monster, so I don't have to do a prompt for that. I am curious what it would have been though, so I'm gonna look at it. Read a book you have doubts about. For the third roll, I landed on a monster space, and I did end up beating the monster by rolling above a 10. So I don't have to pick a book for this one, but I went ahead and looked at what the prompt would have been, and it would have ended up being to read a book that you have doubts about. And if I decide to actually do this, which is something I probably won't do, but the book I would have chosen would have been The Lantern's Ember. And the fourth roll for Tabletop TBR is 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That is pink, and my big head is probably all up in the way of the camera. So the prompt for this one is to read an adult fantasy. And the fourth and final roll for Tabletop TBR was a pink, which is Magical Darkness. So I believe that is going to leave us on a cliffhanger a little bit for our magical dungeon adventure this round. But the prompt is to read an adult fantasy. And for this, I'm going to pick one that's been on my shelf for a pretty long time. Recently, I've just gotten a lot more interested in it for really no reason at all. And that is The Alchemists of Loom, which is something, like I said, I got a long time ago, and it has made it through all of the culling that I've done on my shelf, so that's saying something. But I really am interested in getting to this. So now we're gonna move on to this tiny, cute little board that Becca supplied us with for Becca'S Bookoplathon. This readathon is taking place the whole month of September, which is great because I don't have to squeeze this all into like a week or two or something crazy like that. I thought that this was just such a creative idea that I really wanted to jump on it. And it's probably one of the few readathons that I'll be participating in this year. I really just like the way that this is set up so that the prompts are sort of a mystery, which is the reason I made a TBR game for myself in the first place. So I think this is just very fitting for me. Now we're moving on to the Becca'S Bookoplathon board. So what we need to play this game is 2 6-sided die, which I have, and a little piece to play with, which is Android 17 because he's what I could find, and the community chest and chance cards, which are on the board. So he's still a little big, but we're gonna roll with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the first roll. I'm gonna roll beside the board because it's small. The first roll is 5, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which is translated. So our first roll for Becca'S Bookoplathon landed us on a translated work. And for this, I'm going to cut myself a little bit of a break, and I'm going to read Daytime Shooting Star Volume 8, which is a manga, which means it was translated from Japanese. This is one of the ongoing series that I'm in the middle of currently, and the newest volume is coming out September 1st, so I'm going to read that, so I might as well put it on the TBR. For the second roll, we have 5 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that one is one that I wasn't sure how to do. That I have to pick a recommendation from somebody else's TBR game or something like that. I'm gonna have to look at the rules specifically to remember exactly what it is. The second roll landed us on a corner space for TBR game, and that means you have to go and either play someone else's TBR game or do a prompt from someone else's TBR game or something like that. So I decided I was gonna go and look around a little bit, and I decided to go and do my own sort of rendition of one of the prompts from Cody's Wheel of TBR. Okay, again, it's another close one, but if I tap it back, it is colour, or at least I think it is. Watch me start editing this and then realise it was actually pink instead. But anyway, we'll just go with colour. And it's also the second time it's landed on red, so that's concerning. But I'm going to spin it again, ignoring the prompt, just the colour that comes up has to be on the front cover or the spine of the book I choose. And the prompt that I chose to go with is colour, where you spin a colour wheel and it picks a colour for you, and you read a book with that colour cover. I spun my color wheel and I got purple as my color. So I'm going to be reading Strange Grace by Tessa Groton. This is one I've had for a little while and I feel like I just want to get to. I did have a friend of mine pick between like 3 or 4 of the purple books that I wanted to read, and this is the one that was chosen. So but for the third roll, 5. Okay, we're just apparently all 5s. That's all we're gonna roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have a poll pick because of course I have to get the harder challenges. I can't get the normal ones. For the third roll, I ended up getting a poll pick. So I had to post a poll on Twitter and let you guys pick which book I was going to be reading. And I decided to pick a bunch of middle grades because that's kind of what I want to read right now. And you guys picked Ghost Squad for me out of the choices. And honestly, I wouldn't have been mad about any of them. But this one has just been going around and getting so much hype on BookTube. And the author just seems amazing, so I'm happy to be reading this month. And the fourth roll is 4, and that's a double. So we do another roll anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is Fire on the cover. The fourth roll landed me on Fire on the cover, And for this, I might be stretching it a little bit, but I'm going to be reading Blackwing because that sure looks like fire on the cover to me. This is a book I've had for a while, and I just have been feeling really drawn to it lately, and it fit this prompt. So I thought I might as well put it on the list. So here is roll number 3, and that is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we got a chance card. My chance card is When We Were Magic. Roll number 5 landed me on a chance space, and my card ended up pulling Sarah Gailey's When We Were Magic. I read another of Sarah Gailey's books and I really liked it, so I picked this one up and I'm really excited to get to it. And for our 5th roll, that is 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. A big book, over 500 pages. Of course it is. And I did roll a double during all of this, so my added roll for this ended up being to read a big book, which means over 500 pages. So I decided to put Empire of Gold back on the TBR because I did not end up getting to it in August, which made me really sad, and I really want to read this, but it is so big and it's scary. So those are all the books that I'm going to try to read in September. Who knows if I'm going to get to all of them because that's a pretty ambitious stack. Don't forget that if you enjoyed this video to please hit that like button down below, and if you enjoy this content, maybe hit that subscribe button and maybe the bell button so that you know when I post videos. But that is it for today, and I will see you guys next time.